Hello and welcome everyone, it's Martin here with CryptoGains. Happy Monday and a happy beginning of a new week. If you have seen my video for Friday and if you have followed some of the recommendations that I gave for trading, you'd probably be a very happy and probably a much richer man or woman that you were before that. Starting with Bitcoin versus Tether, I would like to remind you that the previous on the Friday video, 18,000 was the dividing line where we were looking to initiate long positions with initial target at 18,500. That was broken, and now the way that I'm reading the chart, the 18,500 is now the critical mark. If we maintain it, I'll be looking for more upside potential. As I discussed on Friday, my first initial target is around 18,900 for Bitcoin. But then I think ultimately we're looking at testing the 20,000 mark. It will take some time. What we're looking at the minute is the 4-hour chart. If we switch to the daily chart, what we can see is that we are sustaining that overbought territory. And this is the longest streak of sustaining overbought territory on the relative strength index in Bitcoin that we've had. The MACD lines are raising up nice at a moderate pace. Not as steeply as we had in 2018 when Bitcoin raced and crashed, so this rally seems much more sustainable. It will take a while until we reach that level of 20,000, but as long as we sustain that 18,000, we're in good position to initiate more long positions. Conversely, when we switch back to the 4-hour chart, what I've said in numerous videos before is that dipping to just below 50 on the relative strength index on the 4-hour chart is the perfect opportunity to buy, and this is exactly what we had over the weekend as well, giving us another opportunity to enter the market. Probably at the minute it's a bit stretched. It may retrace a little bit before resuming the uptrend, but definitely Bitcoin remains a very strong bull case. Moving to Ethereum, on purpose I've left some of the marks that I had from the Friday video just so that I can show you the recommendation that I gave then and how it unfolded. So what I was discussing was a good opportunity to initiate long positions around 500 with a stop loss at 495 and initial target at 550 before looking at the higher target at 623. But that initial target was smashed. As we can see at the minute, Ethereum is trading around 596. So to me, the new dividing line where we can be looking to initiate long positions now is going to be at 595. And of course, the target that I set on Friday for 623 still remains intact. So my first initial target is going to be around 623. And once we reach that level, then we really need to take a look at the weekly chart and see that actually some of the next highs that we will be testing are probably going to be in the neighborhood of 790 all the way to 830. But for the sake of simplicity, I would set my next target at around 800. And also, as we can see, we are reaching overbought territory on the relative strength index. As I've said in many videos before, this is sustainable for cryptocurrencies, and it's where some of the biggest rallies are happening. So at the minute, I'll be looking to be buying whenever the price is above 595, and targets that I will be looking for to reach are 623 in the short term, and then 705 and all the way up to 800 in the more long term. In terms of stop loss, I would go to a shorter time frame looking at the 4-hour chart. Just waiting it to load. So based on the 4-hour chart, 550 is forming as a fairly robust position for a stop loss in Ethereum versus Tether. Now moving to Repo, and once again on this screen, on the 4-hour chart, I had the setup that I had on Friday just to show you the accuracy of the signal that I gave you. Only I was very conservative with my take profit target. I was recommending buy above 0.31 with a target at 0.327. That was smashed over the weekend. Very strong, very robust rally with the relative strength index on the 4-hour chart overreaching into overbought territory and sustaining that for a while. Currently, the way that I'm reading it, any dip like we have at the moment, tinkering with that 70 level, any dip of the relative strength index on the 4-hour chart to just below 70 is great buying opportunity. If we switch to the daily chart, what we can see is again very robust rally. So the way that I'm currently reading the chart, 0.45 is my dividing line and an opportunity to be initiating long positions in Repo versus Tether with a stop loss around the 0.4 level, which I identified from the 4-hour chart. We saw that some of the lows that we reached at 0.4 were acted as a support, and then prices bounced up and resumed the uptrend. At the minute, if you're looking to initiate long positions at 0.45 with the target at 0.5 and stop loss at 0.4, the risk to reward ratio is not skewed in our favor. So initiating such a long position, really we'll need to be looking at the longer time frame and retesting some of the highs around the 0.5 level, but more importantly at the 0.6 and 0.7 level, which date back to 2018, and then the middle of 2018 and the later part of 2018. So certainly more upside is possible, buying whenever Repo is above 0.45 with the first significant hurdle of 0.5, but if we clear that, 0.6 and 0.7 are definitely possible. Also, we're seeing that we're in overbought territory on the relative strength index on the weekly chart, which, as I've said before, for cryptocurrencies is healthy, and it's where some of the biggest rallies are happening. Next, I'm moving to Iota versus Tether, which I recommended on Friday as well. Again, the recommendation was smashed. Currently, we're at my previous target was at 0.29. And at the moment, what I'm going to recommend is, based on this chart setup, is that above 0.35, it's a good opportunity to initiate more long positions, with the next target at 0.44. These are levels that we reached earlier in the year towards the middle of October. So the next target for Iota versus Tether is at 0.44. Initiating long positions above 0.35, and once again, to set up the stop loss level, we're going to the 4-hour chart and exploring the market activity. We can see that 0.335 is a good place to place our stop loss. So for a stop loss, that's going to be 0.335. Okay, and finally, one new fresh idea, and we're looking at Tezos versus Tether, XTZ versus Tether. Again, we had a very robust rally. We're looking at the daily chart. We're just about to break in overbought territory on the relative strength index, which is what we want to see for very strong upward movement in cryptocurrencies, based on my experience and view, of course. Also, the MACD lines above zero, another bullish indicator, and currently the way that I'm reading this chart is I'll be looking for long positions above 2.5 with a stop loss at 2.4 and take profit at 3.5. As you can see, the distance between the blue line and the red horizontal line is very small, while the distance to our take profit target is fairly large, which means that this is a trade with very high risk to reward ratio. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate you being with me, and if you have trusted me with some of the recommendations that I gave on Friday, you may have become a very, very rich man over the weekend. Keep learning with the video education section, with the Crypto Gains Market Insight subsection. Go through all our previous videos and you can become a more profitable and more successful crypto trader. Trade wisely, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in, and if you liked what you see and you're not already with us, click on the link in the description below and become part of the STORMGAIN community. That way you will never miss another opportunity and you will become a more profitable crypto trader. See you soon.